Hello, hello, hello! Welcome to another No Commentary, where I do an intro and outro and leave you in the midro. And this time, we're playing Peridium. Now, this is a point-and-click adventure game with some horror elements to it. As you can see, it's going to be in a very pixelated art style, and this was another one of those submissions to this year's Adventure Jam. So I'm excited to get into the story. Let's go! Start!
It had taken Lauren first, though he didn't know it then. Didn't understand the dead look in her eyes, that unnatural, wooden, lurching motion as she moved about the lab. Of course, it was too late when I learned to read the signs. Most of the crew were in its power already, and I'd paid a terrible price for my blindness. Was I the last? I could hear their footsteps on the snow outside my cabin. Leaden steps, moving as one. Not safe here. I'll make for the lab. Pain, throbbing from the gaping hole in my stomach. That could have gone better.
Dr. Turner, open up!
My eyes swimming. I almost black out again.
Come on, Jim. There's nothing to worry about.
Harris.
Open this fucking door, James.
Or whatever it is that's living in his body now. I clenched my teeth against another wave of agony. Keep it together. First things first. Gotta get this bleeding under control. A rusty screwdriver rattled around in the toolbox. Collection of papers on the ancient fungi, buried deep beneath the ice, would have been the culmination of a decade of research. The better part of our lives together. I'd never finish now, but perhaps I can pass on the torch. I can't think of a use for it. Found a small blowtorch. We've been shuffling around lab space. They're mostly empty at the moment. There's nothing else useful. No time to mess with that. Found some mean-looking wire cutters. Locked. Best leave her. She's running fine. Okay, Wilkins. What you got for me? Kneeling down over the body, I noticed the telltale, inhuman signs on his face. He was also wearing one of those armbands I'd noticed on the others. Oh God, the stench coming off him. Almost losing consciousness again, but desperate. I persist. I find the key in his jeans pocket. Looking at the radio, my heart sinks. A stray bullet had smashed right through it. Shit. Locked. The lock clicks open. My eyes flit hungrily past morphine, antibiotics, bandages. Someone had been storing lab samples in here again. Strictly forbidden, but the lab fridge had been on the fritz for weeks. The sample caught my eye. Thin, scarlet membrane stretched over a pulsating, bulbous growth. Ah! I wave away the cloud of crimson spores. Eyes, nostrils, throat burning. I cough, and the action triggers a dagger of pain from my wound. Still, I manage not to black out, and at least the cabinet's open. Morphine would only slow my mind, So clenching my teeth to suppress screams of agony, I injected some penicillin around the wound before bandaging it up. I'm done with it. It's not important. The door's stuck fast. Need something to lever it. I lever at the door with the screwdriver, but it's too small to be of any use. I'll leave it alone. There's nothing else useful. That won't work. These wire cutters are still in. It's Wayne's old blowtorch. This binder only contains a fraction of what Kathy and I had learned about the fossilized zygomycota. That it was still alive, that it emitted some sort of high-frequency sonar when propagating. That was only the start. God, I miss her. No real need for it out here, but Wayne insisted. He loves shooting the empties. Not much use to me, though. Used every last round putting down that thing over there. These armbands, what are they? Do those things use it to identify those that have turned? No use opening it. Nothing human out there for 1,000 Ks.
Jim! Come on, Jim! Open the door! I promise everything will be okay, mate, alright?
Harris was a good bloke. Shit.
Open the fucking door!
I can't stand listening to that thing out there. Radio's useless to me broken, and I can't fix it with my bare hands. Despite the tremor in my fingers, I've managed to undo the screws. Radio's useless to me broken, and I can't fix it with my bare hands. Snipping away the fused wiring, I have a vision collecting fusiform stem samples with my wife. Her laughter. Radio's useless. She's already opened up. They don't work together. Best leave her. She's running fine. There's nothing else. I shoved the barrel under the wiring. Can't cut it with my bare hands. Reaching up to cut the wire, I feel something brush against my mind. Vast and terrible. That mere fleeting whisper of contact. A freight train roaring through my consciousness. I was drowning. From deep beneath my mind, I could feel that force animating my limbs like a monstrous puppeteer. Lungs burning, I struggled to the surface. the others had felt. I've got to get help. I'm done with it. Let's see. Should be working now. I grabbed the receiver. This is Dr. James Turner, from Station Theta 661. Do you copy? The welcome sound of a friendly voice comes through the static. Oh, thank God. I need evac ASAP. There's been... something horrible has happened. Yep. Tell the crew, do not land until they see... Repeat, do not land until they see Dr. Parker. Copy. Over and out. Thank God for that. Wavering on my feet, exhausted, I sink to the floor to wait. Sleep falls like a lead curtain. I snap awake. Something very wrong. The cold, my mind, my body stiff and numb. The pain like hot lead being poured over my hands, my feet, my face. I struggle to move my limbs, tearing myself away from the frozen floor. The cold. That unbearable cold. No use opening it. Nothing human out there for 1,000 Ks. There's fuel in her, but she's a tricky thing to get started. Need to find some kindling and something to light it with. And quickly. Not going near it again. Can't bear to go near the thing again. Tearing up a decade of work, I throw it in. The page is lit. I stand close until feeling returns to my face. I'll lose some fingers, but I'm alive. For now. Is that the evac chopper? It's not important. It's quiet out there. Time to go. I'm turning the wheel when I hear shouts and bodies slam into the other side. I throw myself at the door, but too late. Their worm-like arms twisting their way in. Oh God, don't know how long I can hold it. I claw at one of the arms, attempting to push it free, but they're like twisting vines under my grip, cold and unyielding. I almost drop the blowtorch trying to light it, but it flares to life and I hold it against the arm wielding that knife. I almost drop it again as the smell of burning hair and pork crackling fills my nostrils. Screams from outside and the knife clatters on the floor. I make a lunge for the knife. Wielding the cruel hunk of steel, I shut my eyes and start hacking. The muffled screams from behind the door, the sticky warmth splashing on my arms. Finally, I feel the door slam close behind my back. It had worn the same armband. They all did once they turned. They're still out there. I'll need a weapon if I'm gonna make evac. The gun's empty. Don't want to dull the edge. The gun's empty. The knife won't get me far. They'll be armed with much more than that. There's nothing else useful. The door's stuck fast. Need something to lever it. Full box of cartridges inside. There's nothing else useful. It's loaded, and I'm ready as I'll ever be. Weapon shaking in my hand, I swung the heavy door open.
He's coming out. Jim, put it down. Look, Ben's here.
No.
Dad, it's me. I'm coming in.
No.
Mum called before. I just got in.
No, Ben. Get out of here. Run.
Dad, put the gun down.
They killed Kathy, Ben.
Dad, it was an accident. They told me what... Look, it wasn't your fault. Dad, what are you doing?
I can't fight it much longer.
Dad, you need help. Please.
Drop the gun, Jim. It's your son, for fuck's sake.
Can't think. Are you one of them now too?
What?
Hands shaking. Every synapse in my infected mind urging me to pull the trigger.
Please.
Could I have been wrong? I'm so tired, Ben.
Dad.
And exhausted, I let it take me.
Well, that was Peridium. And oh my goodness, that was actually really good. Okay, this was my reasoning. I was thinking that if the guy is crazy, if James is crazy, and he's imagining all of this, then this is going to sound terrible, but it's like, maybe it'd be better that he die, because he's insane. And that'd be better that an insane person die than he, end up killing his son. You know what I mean? Like, because he's insane. Oh, wait.
Take him for processing.
Oh! It is just closed? Okay. Take him for processing. Ah! But if he wasn't crazy, and those things really were, like, out there, and his son really was one of whatever these creatures were, then maybe it would be better for him to not live in a world where he's gonna eventually succumb to them anyway. you know, I don't know, like, would he have even had it in him to kill his son? I don't know. I was thinking about how it was going to end. And I thought if I ended up shooting Ben, that it was going to say like, oh, whoops, turns out Ben was just a person and now you're screwed up. So I said, I just wanted to see what happened if I just killed myself. Because then at least if I killed myself, well, he would have had to live with whatever the truth was either way. It was my reasoning. So now I'm really interested in seeing what would have happened if I chose Ben, because this ending, especially with that little post-credit scene, kudos to you, Dev, for putting that in there. But it made it seem like, yeah, they were aliens, or I don't know why I immediately jumped to aliens, but they were these organisms after all, because they're taking him for processing. Like, processing what? You know? Is it like them taking him for processing because they're like these creatures and they're going to process his human body in some way? Or is it them taking him for processing as in they're humans and they knew he was like crazy and infected and we're trying to like get him to, you know, come out, but like now that he's dead, they're going to process him to figure out more about the creature. I'm leaning more towards the former, that they are like the creature just because of how sinister it sounded when the guy said, take him for processing. But yeah, that was okay. That was cool. That was cool. Again, that was Peridium, and I really like that. So, you know, if you decide to play this yourself and you choose the other ending, you choose to kill Ben, let me know what happens in the comments below.